I want to just tell you that you got about the best lawyer in the world. I don't know that he's the best lawyer in the world because I haven't met them all. But he's the best that I ever met. That's a hard statement to prove, but I can prove it. Here's Tony Zivlin. He's Bob's his lawyer. And Tony Zivlin is here tonight and not in the penitentiary. Prove it. Of course, Bob's also my lawyer. I'm here tonight. No, really what you're doing is one of the things that should have been done a long time ago. There are several classes of people, or groups of people, who are exploited by their employers, regardless of who they are, simply on the basis of their dedication to their duty. Nurses. Besides farmers, you got nurses, you got teachers, school teachers, you've got firemen, you've got policemen, and maybe there are others. But of those groups, they are generally low paid because they're dedicated to the job they're doing. I personally think it's a wrong dedication. But nevertheless, the employer figures you're not going to leave the station house, so he don't really have to do anything for you except give you a little lip service. For the first time, I understand, since 1925, some firemen showed some backbone in Atlanta, and I glory in your spunk. This is what it takes. You might be interested to know, if you didn't catch it on the radio, that the nurses in Rome done caught this contagion from you, and they're bringing it down. And it's sure about time. Because if you are as important as the mayor and the newspapers say you are, you're as vital to the interest of this community that it's a horrible thing for you to even consider walking out, then why in the hell don't they pay you for it? This is the thing. One other thing I want to bring to. I think that you put the emphasis now in the right place. Man owes responsibilities to all people, to all the world that he lives in. Your first responsibility is to your God, then to your country. I think you people have been putting the next one to your job instead of to your family. Haven't you let your family suffer at times in order to fulfill your duties on the job? Well, the rest of us don't do it. My family comes next to my country. And that's where it ought to be. And our society would break down if everyone thought their job was more important than their family. And there is no real reason for it to be that way with anybody in our society. If they'll pay the money to the people that work for this city, I can live without that stadium. I can live without a new auditorium. I can sure live without an art center, I'll tell you. But I can't live very long without a fireman to put out my house when it catches on fire. The necessities should come first. And in this city and in this country, they have not come first. If all workers were as dedicated as you fellows have been, we wouldn't make $1 an hour. We're not dedicated. We only work because we got to earn the money to live on. And as soon as we make enough that we don't have to work, we quit. What you're doing, what you have done, is the best thing that you could have done. It was the only thing I believe that you could have done in order to focus attention on your problem. How long have you had the problem? 20 years? 30 years? 40 years? I don't know, but nobody paid any, they didn't put it on the front page before, did they? They didn't say they'd pull farmers. Man, I'll tell you, y'all got them on the front page. You got them on notice. And this is as it should be. And Tony tells me that you worry a little bit about some of this crud you hear in the paper. Let me point out to you. That's what we call Monday morning quarterback. I never had a strike yet, and I'm sure Tony will agree with me, that he's never had a strike. No matter how long it lasted, that when you settled and you went back in, there wasn't some wise joker that said, boys, if you stayed out 2 days more, we got double the amount we got. You'll always hear it. That's the joker that don't know which end is up. Pay no attention to it. Now, I feel like that you're to be praised. You've done the right job. There's one thing I would commend to you. I understand that you've submitted your resignation. Brother, I'd let them stay submitted. I'd let the city know that you can all walk out at any minute and that you aim to do it. Now they say, I read the paper where it says you can't strike against the public safety or something like this. Well, if there's such a law, I never heard of it. And I don't know why you can't, because they ought to look back just a few days ago where you did. So keep those resignations handy. Believe me, if you want that job worse than you want to take care of your family, then you're going to end up where you've been without taking care of your family, but you'll have a nice job. You can run, play fireman, and go fight fires and do whatever you want to, but you won't be able to take care of your family. Your family's got to come first. And when you start thinking that way, you will start acting that way. And they'll start respecting you for it. And they'll quit exploiting you for your willingness to do the job that needs to be done with the rest of us. I can't fight no fires. It scares the hell out of us. Most of us are that way. You know, you guys are a little different from the rest of us. You're crazy. You'll go in, if the place is on fire and it's time to go in, you go in. Most of us would think of a half a dozen excuses about why we ought to go home or somewhere else. We wouldn't do it. This is not, perhaps it's not a skill, but it's a special type of courage that is not shared with the general people. I have talked to many people that have never considered or thought about it. I said, man, have you ever seen a fire? Just one in the fireplace. And somebody says, here, boy, take this rubber hose and get in there with it. What would you do? Most of them, frankly admit, I hadn't thought about it, but I sure as hell wouldn't go in there to find another job. So what you're doing is necessary, and that you should be taken care of in the same way. Let me say to you in closing, and you're not going to like this, but there's a lot to commend it. I said it to the group today. And in one of these things, you guys have got way the majority of the members now. You're back in now. You might consider taking over a firefighters association. You can do it. Think about it before you reject it. There was an old trick that was used, not used much now, we used to use it. When it'd be on strike and the boss would get a few scabs in, we'd start watching it, and when we'd see that he had enough scabs that it looked like maybe he'd get enough to do something, then one morning we'd all go back in the shop. This was called taking the strike back in the shop. And when you did it, it shook the boss up no end. He didn't know whether to lock you out, let you in, punch your card, or touch third base. It just pandemonium rained, you know, and you came in like nothing happened. What's the matter? you took the scabs with you. You think that one through. It'll work. Glad to be with you. God bless you, and go ahead.
The reason we thought it'd be good for Scott to come and talk to you, aside from the fact that he's a good talker and he's sort of a preacher on the side, is that the Machinists Union, you talk about being independent, you know, and some of the guys feel a little bit remorseful about this. The Machinists Union have been in and out of the AFL and the CIO 9 different times when they went independent, and nobody calls them renegades today.
Yeah, I saw it in the show.
Gentlemen, maybe appreciate those remarks. I know all I can do is made me feel a lot better. I may be a little haphazard up here tonight, but quite a few things I want to pass on to you. One thing, contributions from Fireman's Fund to Union Printers, from the Union Printers of the Atlanta Newspapers Incorporated. It's over in front, you can see that big print. It says, free will, spontaneous contributions started Thursday night. This was the men that were on duty at the Atlanta newspapers, not from the Union Hall. $51 donated to our cause. Something else been brought to our attention, if you recall, when the city was frantically trying to get somebody to man the fire station. North Avenue Construction Department, 283 men available. North Avenue Sewer Department, 35 men available, a total of 318 men. And the Hill Street Construction Department with 200 men available. And the Sewer Department, 200, making 400 men available, made a total of approximately 718 men that would have been available in the construction department. 4 men volunteered to sign up as firemen. Also, the 3 gentlemen today that were in my place from the construction department, 1 foreman and 2 of his workers. And they also give us about, in their particular department, 1 man. They said that 1 man, the only reason he signed up, nobody in their department had anything to do with him anyway. And so he did agree. But they were quite interested. Practically all that I've contacted and talked to the city employees are quite interested in us. I've talked to Mr. Ed Pounds again of Marietta Fire Department, local to Marietta Fire Department, very interested. They are very thankful. According to Mr. Pounds, everyone he's been in contact with, every fire department at that end of the state of Georgia had their eyes on us. Had we lost, they would have all lost. They feel we've won a big victory as far as they are concerned, and we do too. We know that there's a lot to be done yet. But the groundwork is laid, as Mr. Walters pointed out there. We now have the public attention. I don't believe we've lost any of that public attention whatsoever, or public opinion. I was in a little community last night, about 8 miles above Cartersville, about 35 people there. I had to go up and show some films, and the first thing, every one of them come out and shake our hand, and they said, boys, we were pulling for you. Everyone, I know you met people of the same mind. I have yet to see, as far as I know yet, anyone in the general public who has not been pulling for us. So we still got the public support behind us, regardless of what some of these newspaper articles tell us. I've been asked to read a couple of paragraphs out of an address or a letter that went to Local 3290 of the United Communication Workers, west of Electric Branch. Just reading part of the paragraph that pertained to us says, now let's talk a little about the firemen. Isn't it a shame the way Ivan Allen Jr., Mayor, City of Atlanta, does these people? If our political friends could see the end of their nose, the firemen would not have been forced into the tragic situation they were in. There was a bill proposed to cut their hours worked per week to 56. This is only 2 days a week more than we work. Of course, this is without overtime. Needless to say, this bill did not even get to the floor. A couple other paragraphs don't necessarily mean, going down here, says, to me, the only tragic thing that I can see from these oppressed firemen changing unions is that they are not now in the AFL-CIO. But by the same token, these men needed better conditions and money than had been allotted them in the past. I wish them all the luck in the world. I attended a meeting of some 500 of these people, and John E. Wright, your Secretary and Treasurer, addressed them. I might add that I have never seen a more unified group of people. I hope that we demonstrate the same unity in meetings on the job during bargaining. When our local president and the rest of the bargaining committee go into session, let's back these people 100% because they need it. And it's signed, A.D. Walker, Georgia State Representative, Local 3290, Communication Workers, Western Electric. Got another letter. Give me just a minute to find the right copy I want of it. This is also from another branch of Communication Workers of America. This is from 2200 Southern Bell employees. This is Dear Captain Martin, I am enclosing a copy of a letter which I wrote to Mayor Allen today. I am astonished at the position he has taken with your group. I believe the court order to the men to return to work is the worst development in labor relations in the city of Atlanta during the last 20 years that I've been here. I hope the men will insist on their constitutional right to work or not to work as they see fit. I am certainly in full sympathy with your objectives and wish you the best of luck in solving your problems. Yours truly, George Gill, District Director. His letter is quite long, but I believe that you would enjoy it. It says, Dear Mayor Allen, I have been following with great interest the news stories about the crisis in the fire department. I have the greatest respect for the firemen and other public servants of our great city, and strong sympathy for the needs of the firemen, especially. I have admired you too, Mr. Mayor, for your demonstrated capacity to lead Atlanta forward, and as a citizen feel honor bound to support you as you exercise the power of your office in meeting the responsibilities of your leadership. What the papers say about your position with the firemen, however, I find almost unbelievable and certainly unsupportable. These firemen have left jobs which they have found to be intolerable. Based on present-day standards of pay and working hours, I fully agree with them that their conditions are appalling. I think you would too if you had to be a fireman for a few days. Now comes our honorable mayor and a judge who doesn't even bother to hear both sides and say to these men, you will be forced under penalty of prison to work for us. Not for me, Mr. Mayor, not for any other thoughtful, freedom-loving citizen of this city. I repudiate the very thought. I am a property owner and a long-time citizen of Atlanta, and I would rather see the whole city burned to the ground than to force one single citizen into involuntary servitude for my convenience. Think, Mr. Mayor, you are proposing to make slaves of these men. They are free citizens, Mr. Mayor, not subject under any circumstances to work against their wishes for any man. I don't know the details of your negotiations with these men. I know from my own experience in collective bargaining that it is almost impossible to get the full flavor of labor dispute into public print. I recognize that men pushed beyond endurance can sometimes be exasperating. But it appears, Mr. Mayor, that you would not even meet with these men until after their frustration had driven them from their jobs and only to threaten them with slavery. May I respectfully suggest that a more moderate, conciliatory, and sympathetic approach on your part could have prevented this crisis and could still cure it. These men obviously have a real grievance against the city. That means me as a citizen, and you, Mr. Mayor, as my spokesman and representative. No self-respecting man so situated could react any way except with resentment and rebellion to the insulting repudiation of their long-standing efforts to achieve some relief. As a full and complete solution to this problem, Mr. Mayor, I commend you to the Board of Aldermen the full, complete implementation of the Golden Rule. Slavery and the bullwhip may seem desirable to you at the moment, but it is not an accepted policy in America, even under the most pressing provocation. Yours truly, George E. Gill. Gentlemen, quite a few of those communications that have come in, some in the forms of telegrams, some in the form of letters and notes, dozens of them in phone calls from people like the transit workers and others that I rightly think can't call up. So organized labor, AFL, CIO, independents, the garment workers, all have said they support you 100%. So don't necessarily believe all you read in the newspaper. Now, going to ask a couple of things here I better pass along. Anyone need any withdrawal slips at this time? From 134. Got them if you need them.
What is that? 134. What's 134?
Just give a sign. Received a $25 donation from Mrs. Carl R. Cannon, station number 27. There's a treasury report out here in just a moment. Anything else? Is there anybody in the hall who has not had the opportunity to sign your 2 membership certificates? Would like to sign up.
I can't sign again. I'm for you.
All right. Gentlemen, briefly, let's see, is any other old business before we get into any committees to be heard from?
Roll call.
Ralph Coffey, yes, State Secretary. All right, let's have a roll call station.
Write that down, Sergeant.
All right, gentlemen, face that roll call.
Number 1.
Go.
2.
Go.
3.
Go.
4.
Go.
5.
Go.
6.
Go.
7.
Go.
8.
Go.
9.
Go.
10.
Go.
11.
Go.
12.
Go.
13.
Hey!
14.
Go.
15.
Go.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Green Tower.
Yo.
Chops. Signal office. Stand up. Signal office. Stand up, signal office. Fire prevention. President
Everyone has a roll call except fire prevention. That's pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Anything else? Any other committees hadn't been heard from? Anybody here, anybody here, membership committee, Captain Stanley, I believe it's here this afternoon. We had a report on that. That's the report on our steward committee. What other committees we got? Money committee. How many hamburgers we have to eat that, Mr. Collins?
1,451 meals.
I didn't get one.
We gave the mayor part one. I got about, I can't go have it at home, freezing now, just have to put 150 out, 150 next week. I got a few come by here.
Hold on, Joe, I ain't even yet.
Hey, hold on to them, if I want one, I'll give them to them. That's what, Lieutenant McGowan told me to do.
I think a couple of them got some freezing.
Mayor got part one.
I didn't know what they did.
Somebody told me the mayor got one.
If I want, I'm buying this worse than everything.
I didn't know about that today. All right, John.
Do you have any idea how many you have left? Do you have any idea how many is in there?
No, at least 350, I guess.
I'll make a motion or a suggestion, let's say, that, give it to some kids that need.
I believe it's your discretion, whatever you want to do with it.
Some orphan asylum or
The only problem is giving them out in quantities that got to be heated for the serve to be worthwhile. Most places don't have facilities to heat them.
With oven heating and doing,
Yeah. 350 degrees, about 10 minutes.
Take them out to your home,
They won't.
I ain't gonna say a few of them guys leave them down inside there, and they something.
Rick, do you want to say something? Gentlemen, please.
I make a motion that we take these hamburgers and give to the, Georgia Baptist Office Home in our name.
I wonder, all right, been made a motion, second that we give these hamburgers to Georgia Baptist Children's Home in our name. Do you think they've been invited to them?
Like I said, if they have a way of heating them, let them thaw, they're supposed to thaw out, and then be heated about 10 minutes in a
Pretty dry.
And then they.
Good contact. We're not gonna be doing it next time. All right, any other discussion on the hamburgers before we
Make
vote
a
on it?
motion, just throw them away, but you was to give somebody get some, that'd be there with legal.
All right, gentlemen, please. That being an amendment to that motion, all right? Or is that just added to discussion? Well, we got one motion on the floor now to give them the children's home. It's all been rejected, it might be dangerous that, it could make some of them sick. I think that is a problem, don't you? I believe it's been by the accepted, I accept as the body has made an amendment to that motion to the effect that, there ended this problem. All in favor, please? Any opposed? Randy, you got 300 something. All right.
They didn't care about the engine house, make them walk out, letting them walk out something to eat.
All right, gentlemen, let's get on right. Let me bring you a little bit up to date, best I can, with what has occurred. Now, as it stands, let's remember, there's a lot of talk going around. Some people say, well, we didn't win anything. And like Mr. Walters just said, there's always these Monday morning quarterbacks who say, well, if we stayed out till Monday or Sunday or wait till Saturday at 5, we'd have got a hell of a lot more. But we had over 600 and some men out here that had their jobs carried around in a suitcase. And no honorable avenue to get back. And we ask ourselves, what were we doing out there? Why did we go out there to start with? For $100 a month and a 40-hour work week or 56-hour work week? Not primarily, as I remember. We went out there because there wasn't no damn body to talk to. We couldn't even get to first base on them, am I right? That's right. All right. We went out to draw attention to our fact that we were a unified body, that we meant what we were saying, that somebody had better pay attention to us. Well, gentlemen, when we talk now, they pay attention to us. Actually, on the whole business, I think. I'll be good.
They know what the real.
Hey, I'd like to find out what the definition of arbitration is. They say they're not,
Well, we are under mediation.
or mediation.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. All right, let's build up to the finish. Just keeping in mind what we had in mind when we did go out. The fact that when we would try to talk to the mayor, or we tried to talk to the board of fire masters, or anybody we tried to talk to, said we were just a couple of officers with a handful of radicals. We didn't represent the fire department. That the largest part of the fire department was still loyal to 134, and 134 was doing all the talking. Mr. Knight wouldn't take us seriously when we wrote him letters. Mr. Knight wouldn't take us seriously when we went to him in person. Mr. Knight didn't take us seriously when we picketed him. The mayor didn't take us seriously when 300 walked in front of the city hall. The board of fire masters didn't take us seriously when several hundred of us showed up down there to a board of fire masters meeting, and they practically laughed at us, Mr. Knight and Cecil Turner. Now, we will admit that Mr. Summers, we found, is quite vulnerable. He was willing to talk. And thanks to some of our friends, Emmett Smith and some little boys, Mr. Williams was ready to talk, and Emmett. So, we have made considerable progress. The mayor told me when I went to his office office, he said the first time he tried to talk to me, I said, Mr. Mayor, I said, last week there were over 300 men out there on that sidewalk. He said, well, I thought y'all were just protesting. I said, if you'd read the signs, you'd seen them say, Mr. Mayor, let's talk. He said, well, you could have come in my office. I said, 300 of us couldn't get in. Why did you come out? So that left that. He now knows we want to talk to him. As found out something, you remember Mr. Jim Moore says he can walk up and place his card down and walk in the mayor's office anytime he wants to. Damn, I'm just as good as Mr. Moore now. But only because you're here tonight, and only because you were here last week, and only because, as these people have projected here in their letters, and Mr. Walter said, you are one solid, united body. I am nothing but just a mark that you stuck up here on the head of. I couldn't do one damn thing without this entire group. And they know you are a group. And they've got to continue to know it. Don't let us scatter out here. Let rumors weed you out and faint you out. Rumor came down today that 25 of our former members have run back into 134. Any of y'all heard that rumor? I don't doubt you have. Possibly some of them have. But if 25 ran in, 50 more came to us. So we didn't accept those odds. Now getting back to our progress, I'm getting a little off the beat. The mayor, when we made our 4 recommendations, that we would go back to work on. And remember, these recommendations were submitted to us by an outside group of people, a group of people that were very interested in us, a group of people that believed that we were right and that we were just, and that the mayor and the city officials were holding us out through their own bull-headed stupidity. And WSB Television, through Mr. Ray Moore, contacted Mr. Mitchell to see what it would take to get us back to work. They realized that the mayor was not giving us an honorable path to go back. We didn't intend to be out that long. We wanted to show a force, to show that we were a unified body. It was not our intention to put this city without fire protection for as long as it did. It shouldn't have happened. The mayor could have brought us all back to work, but that very night he came out here to talk to us, and he talked like he talked as a decent human being. Instead of giving us a Boy Scout oath in one hand and threatening us with a court injunction with the other, you don't talk to people that are desperate and mad in that manner. Mr. Ray Moore submitted these 4 proposals. We accepted them. They were, as you recall, that we would agree to a 30-day cooling off period, provided that we return to work. How those proposals go now? Many times I've read them. There would be.
You want to read them?
Yeah, what are they on? I want to read them.
Find it all this junk.
Hell, I done did it so many times, I forgot what the hell it was. I've got them here somewhere, but I'll never find them in my damn folder. I've got them. This is the copy of the telegram that we sent to the mayor. This confirms proposal with Atlanta Firefighters Union Independent this afternoon through WSB. The union will agree to a 30-day cooling off period under the following conditions. No recrimination or reprisal for any Atlanta fireman or employee participating in present controversy between us. 2, all legal proceedings of every kind now pending to be withdrawn immediately. 3, a neutral and impartial mediator will immediately be selected by the parties. And 4th, said mediator to meet with these parties and within said 30-day period make written findings of fact and recommendations upon merits of this controversy and parties to the public. Now, that was our telegram. As you recall, the mayor rejected it, and sent an alternate reply returned, which we rejected, and eventually, over that now famous cup of coffee that we got together on, he accepted this proposal almost verbatim.
You wanna read that telegram that went to him?
Would you put that up, Coach? Now, Martin,
Yes,
I'd like to say a word right there on.
All right, please.
Part there. I went into work that night when we left Union Hall.
right?
I talked to two of the operators, Teresa Leathers and John Perkins. They told me that, they were bringing in those volunteers, the switchboard was lit up and everything, they were gonna bring in the volunteers to man the fire station in our place. They called the chief elder man back there and told him, said, you think we're gonna stand by and let these boys do their job? You think it's some operators that did? He then called in all the chiefs and talked to all the chiefs, and he left and went to talk to the mayor. I just wanna pass a little bit of information, they said they were gonna come out with us.
Operator.
That's right.
That was when they were fixing to bring in the volunteers, right?
I've heard several of those men say they wasn't gonna work with them too.
I also heard the chief said the same thing. They didn't accept it either.
Well, we heard from quite a few people that this had, which, when they didn't accept it, quite a few more did walk out. And, possibly had we stayed the rest of the night, we'd have them all out. Whether that had been good or bad, who can say? Suppose George Baptist Children's Home hadn't caught fire that night. We'd all been getting shook to the Everglades. Huh? We'd have been there, that's true.
We're out there without pay, though.
That's all right.
Well, that was what I meant, that's all right. We wouldn't have taken anything from his honor.
We know how we stand. I think the general public knows how we stand. Who didn't know was the city officials. Yes, sir.
About that going to fires, there was, some of our people went to Peachtree Road and fought the fire and came back to the Union Hall after the fire was out. Don't sell them people that stayed in the station short, don't sell yourself short. Some of your men went out without any protective equipment, without any pay, picked up a 2.5-inch line, or so they told me, and I know them to be men, and I believe them. Went in that place and helped put that fire.
Now, here's a copy, and Bill's come up with the actual copy. This statement was written by the mayor's secretary that night, Thursday night, when Captain Stein, myself, and Bob Mitchell went to the mayor's office and, settled on this. The following statement is issued jointly by Mayor Ivan Allen Jr. of the city of Atlanta and representatives of the Atlanta Firefighting Union Independent, Captain J.I. Martin and Captain London G. Starr. The strike of some members of the Atlanta Fire Department has been settled, and the men will report back to work as soon as they can be notified. The mayor will call a special meeting of the Board of Aldermen of the city of Atlanta at the earliest practical date and will recommend to the Board of Aldermen that they approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to agree with representatives of the union on a mediator who will study all of the issues involved in the dispute between the city of Atlanta and the firemen. The results of the investigation by the mediator shall be furnished to the city and to the Atlanta Firefighters Union Independent and also be made public at the earliest possible date. Mayor Allen has instructed Henry L. Bowden, city attorney, to dismiss all pending court action arising out of the strike. The city has further agreed that there will be no reprisals, penalties, or punishments for any of these persons involved in the strike. Now, the question remains if the mayor is going to be true to his word, and the question remains, are we going to be true to ours? As far as the mayor is concerned, at this point, he called the very next day the Board of Aldermen into session, which was Friday. And on Friday afternoon, they did unanimously adopt the ordinance allowing him, he had to have the permission first, to meet with us to select the mediator for this. That being Friday afternoon, Monday morning, he called a meeting with Captain Stein and myself, Mr. Mitchell, to meet with him and the city attorney to select this mediator. Now, Bob Mitchell, who had delayed his vacation trip out of town while we were out and stayed with us, as you know, throughout the entire time, took off that weekend to South Carolina and was not available Monday. In lieu of the fact that he not wasn't available, and he's much more experienced in mediation than we are. After some discussion back and forth, we elected not to select anyone. The mayor offered us first choice, who do you want? We had no one in mind particularly. Asked him who he wanted. He had no one in mind particularly. I suggested then the National Labor Relations Board had offered that if both parties would request it, possibly they could mediate as a public service, although officially they have no jurisdiction. The mayor didn't get to discuss this. So after a little more back and forth talk, it was decided that we let the two attorneys get together, make the selections. I believe we have the utmost confidence in Bob Mitchell. We'll look after our interests. The city attorney will be looking after the city's interest. The man or group of men will be selected at their discretion. Does that meet with your approval? Bob Mitchell, I understand, Tony is on the way back into town. Probably if he didn't get in tonight, he'll be in by tomorrow. So, the mediator should have a selection on him very shortly. Now, there's been a lot of talk. I've heard a lot of conversation about reprisals. I know that there's reprisals going on in both directions. I know that there's some men back in these stations, especially in a station that where predominantly a lot of men went out and a few didn't. Some of those men are living hard. I know that some of you men that went out where some officers didn't, some of you men are living hard. Now it's got to stop. The best way to stop it, I believe, is to wear it out. Some of these officers are pulling a lot of housework on you. I think you men are capable of handling that yourself. However, let me say this, if you've got a legitimate gripe, or you feel that you've got a legitimate complaint, put it in writing. Get all the facts, all the witnesses, all the names, all the names. If you think enough of it that it is a legitimate complaint, put it in writing, give it all the full details, submit it to us, and we will carry it forward. Is there any question to that fact? Now, we know there's going to be some hard noses on this thing. And I wish that there wouldn't be. I think that every man has got it right to do as his conscience guides him. We believe that his conscience should guide him to stand with his brothers. But if he's weak, or if he has conviction, or whatever his reasons may be, some men had bona fide reasons, and I'm quite sure. Or they feel conscientious with their head. Let's bring them into this organization. Let's help them by letting them associate with you men who have stood together. I think we ought to welcome into this organization every man in the Atlanta Fire Department that you men feel should be. Now, the reason I faded off of that, I think this talk's been rejected. Don't know if it's been put in motion form or not. It's been pretty generally agreed that to accept for membership from this point on, the men in the House submit a man, they must approve that man from that House. In other words, if you've got a man or two or three men that have not been a member of this organization, you would like to submit him for membership, your House will submit him for membership. He will be approved by his body. If your House disapproves his membership, he will not be accepted by his body. Does everyone agree and concur with that? That probably should be worked into our bylaws. Bill, I think you won't talk to me. Bill, I'd like to accept it, and I will if you insist, but could we wait for that to be and turn it over to our bylaws? It probably work better in our bylaws. Does everybody agree, or I will accept the motion? no record kept of it, so I don't have nothing to report on last week. And, as far as I know, there's nothing else.
Mr. Treasury, can we have a report from you, please?
Gentlemen, this dates back to the original organizing date. And to this date, we now have deposited, the total amount that's been deposited, $5,894.88. Our total expenditures to date is $2,906.37, which gives a net balance at this time in the bank, $2,988.51. This is through 9 June.
Do I hear a move to adopt the treasurer's report? Your pleasure, please. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Mr. Stanley, on membership, please.
As of Sunday, we have 612 members. Now, I don't know whether that's correct or not, because I want to get with every shop steward today before we leave this building, and let me go over my roll with it. 612, that's an accurate count, as of last Sunday.
Thank you, sir. Will the shop stewards please not leave the building until they have contacted Mr. Stanley? How many shop stewards are present, please? Thank you, sir. Will you give me a station call, Mr. Secretary?
1. Here. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. Fire prevention. Signal officer. Training tower. Shop. Let's see. Cummins and then answer was 3. 19 and 20. 33, fire prevention, training tire, shop.
Your pleasure on 2 guests in the room, gentlemen. Mr. Waters? From District Lodge 46. Mr. Tony Zillers. Any objection, please? Fine. I'll now introduce to you Mr. T. Scott Waters, the Senior Business Representative for District Lodge number 46. Mr. Waters.
I got better qualifications than being a business agent. I'm also an official Atlanta taxpayer. I've just come through a pretty darn rough 2 weeks, where one of my employees sets himself up as the boss and all over 500 of my employees. It gets to be a little sticky. Because I'll tell you, I can live in a city without a mayor, but I can't live in it without fire. I can only give you encouragement, the promise of support. I have talked to a lot of people in Atlanta, So they usually end up, well, that's probably the right thing to do. You know, before I get this will be kind of rambling because I'm going to have to pick up the things that I think of. Some of the things I say to you may agree with, some of them you may not. I would trust and I'd hope that you accept them in the spirit in which I bring them to you, in brotherhood and in friendship. First of all, on your lawyer, I noticed some little pieces in the paper taking cracks at Bob Mitchell. Well, I don't know that Bob Mitchell is the best lawyer in the world, because I haven't met all the lawyers in the world. But of those that I have met, he's the best. Usually you can't prove a statement like that, but I can prove that. The fact that Tony Zivalik is sitting here and not sitting in the penitentiary proves it. Since he's my lawyer too, it goes for me also. Same thing. Let me say to you this, as I see the picture. There are at least three groups of people who are being exploited beyond what any people should be expected to take. The nurses, school teachers, and firemen and policemen. Of those groups, each of them have a feeling of dedication to the job. Misplaced, I believe. Perhaps you disagree. But they have traded on your dedication to your job to keep your wages low. They have done that to the school teacher. They've done it to the nurse. And they've done it to the policeman. And there may be other groups. But as I see it, a fellow doesn't become a fireman in order to get rich. If he does, he's too stupid to be a fireman. Isn't that right? He gets in it because he wants to do it. It takes a certain courage to go into a burning building that darn few of us have got. I haven't. I'll get up to it to where it's warm and then I'll take off. And I believe that my reaction will be that of 99% of the people in the city of Atlanta. It takes a certain type man to be a fireman. Because when it's time to go in, you go in. Most of us right then would turn in our resignation. We can stay around the station house, and I guess we could polish the brass, and we could cut the grass, we could cook our meals, and we could sleep. We could carry out all the duties except fighting the fire. I think that's what will happen. They never consider that this is the job of the fireman. The nurse, by the same token, feels dedicated to healing the sick. Incidentally, I've got a bunch of nurses in my immediate family. And they're a bunch of nuts. They work for nothing, miserable hours, take all kind of abuse. When they reach the age of about 45 and they don't want them too much anymore, that's when they finally wake up and say, you know, Scott, what we need is a union. It's too damn late. At least you guys are making the start in time. Now, I don't know that a strike is the way to do it. I know this. Nobody's come up with a better way of doing it. Have they? And what y'all have done has at least brought the attention of the people to the plight of the firemen. I would suggest to you that you keep those resignations handy all the time. This is your answer. You may feel that you don't have the right to strike, and I noticed in the paper, the Atlanta Constitution says that nobody has the right to strike against the public safety. Well, that's a bunch of crap. Ivan Allen's got the responsibility of operating this city. if a strike occurs, then the responsibility lies on the top man, not on the bottom man. Isn't this right? But what happened is Ivan's responsibility. If this isn't the way, keep those resignations handy for this reason. If you agree with my reading, that you have been exploited on the basis that they felt like you wouldn't walk out, so they could get by with the least amount they could give you. Now, you have got to do what every other unionist has had to do at one time or another. And that is be willing to gamble the whole pot. That's what you're doing when we go on strike. We do it regular. You're going to have to be willing to give it up. Say, well, I'll gamble. Either this is a decent job or I'll learn something better. Here's where I find that you're making the mistake. Every man's first duty is to his God. Second to his country. Third to his family. That's where you guys make your mistake. You don't put your family third. You put your family fourth and put the job third. Stop to consider if this isn't right. When you put in 60 hours a week on a job, gentlemen, you're not treating your family right. And if you ain't got a family, you ain't treating your girlfriend right. I believe if you will consider it and will realize that the evaluation of your life depends on the way you handle the things that are the most important to you. You have to come to the conclusion that family, your responsibilities, come ahead of the job. I believe you keep this in mind, you will recognize what you have to do. And this city can't get along without you. That's for darn sure. You took everything off of the front pages. They had to have you back. But if Ivan Allen had done the right thing to start with, frankly, he made the most stupid mistake I ever saw. He couldn't run a four-man plant, could he, Tony? He couldn't make a buck. The way he talked to y'all, and all I know is what I saw on television, the way he talked to you, he couldn't run a plant long enough to make a dollar. You don't treat people that way. You don't walk on and say, look, I'm going to get an injunction against you. It's like the guy saying, I'm going to turn my dog loose. We say, turn him loose, mister. Let's see how sharp his teeth are. And this is what you will do, too, whether you want to or not, because you're men. No man wants to back off from a situation. The mayor, who is supposed to be smart, we're stupid. If we were smart, we'd be mayor, right? The fact we're here shows we're kind of stupid. He's supposed to be smart enough to know how to talk to us to get us to do what he wants us to do, right? He failed miserably. He wouldn't make a lead man in a plant to save his soul. One other thing. I saw a statement attributed to James O. Moore. They said he was president of the AFL-CIO, Georgia AFL-CIO. Well, if he is, then he stole the office, because the last time I heard, a fellow named Montague was president. Moore is president of the Atlanta Labor Council. It was a kind of a mealy-mouthed statement that said, in effect, without quite saying it, well, you're a bunch of renegades or something. He didn't quite say it, but this is typical of the kind of statements you get from those people. Well, let me tell you, don't worry about it being an independent union. I'm a member of the machinists. The machinists have been in and out of the AFL about 9 times. Does somebody call me a renegade because I've been in an independent union? Then they're going to have to call most of us renegades. Because every CIO union at one time went independent of the AFL. As far as the Teamsters being out, that's probably the best thing that ever happened to them. They have grown more, they have become a stronger union, and they have done a better service for their members because of it. You see, when you're independent, you get the feeling among yourselves, we've got to stick together. Don't you? This is what every union has to be a good union. Now, as far as whether you're independent or not, let me tell you this. The trade unionists in this city and all over the country glory in your bums. The bums that can't get a job anywhere else and are hanging on to one are going to deplore it. A trade unionist is a man that believes in trade unionism regardless of whether it's AFL, CIO, Teamster, or what it is. And we believe that whatever the union is, if it does its function, that is to represent its members, then it's worthy of our support. And I promise you this, if every member of trade unions in this area were to vote on the question, you'd win by 95%, because most of our members believe that you're doing the right thing. Let me say to you in closing, I know you've heard it and I know other speakers have said to you, stick together. In sticking together, regardless of where you are, you're protecting yourself. Split up, and they'll cut you to pieces. I've got the idea, I don't know that it can be worse. But I think the biggest thing that this International President Buck is afraid of is that maybe you've sowed the seeds of trade unionism in the firefighters movement. This is what I got from reading his statement. Was that, gee, man, look what you done started. Somebody else is liable to do the same thing. Well, as a trade unionist, what's so damn bad about that? If it gets what the membership are entitled to. You may hate me for this, but I want you to think about it. If you all went back into the firefighters union, who'd control it?
The mayor.
Can't y'all control it? Don't y'all have elections in that state? Huh? You put your own people in. I'm asking you. I don't know. I don't know how your union runs, you see. Well, you've got strength now. Think about it. This may be a move you want to make. Not now, maybe, but at a later time. If you stick together, you can control it. You sure they don't have to run out. 612 men don't have to run out on 100. I don't care if they're 10 feet tall. You can tickle them to death. But y'all can do it. There's an old technique, and we still use it every once in a while, called carrying the strike into the shop. And it was done when you'd strike a plant, and they're beginning to scavenge, you know, and they're getting a few scabs in there. So then you just, without any warning, everybody goes back to work. The boss don't know whether to lock you out or let you in or what to do, so you get in. The next time you come out, you bring the scabs with you, horizontally or by the arm.
There's not much I can say except that we've been getting a lot of free publicity because we've been sort of the lessors in leasing our property. And as I told you in the beginning, I say it again. And, Captain Martin was talking to President Cook Friday, who's been under a serious handicap because he had a heart attack, but he made it official that you guys are welcome to use our hall at any time. And as long as, like Scott here says, that you're acting and behaving and fighting and conducting yourself as trade unionists, you'll always be welcome to use our facilities, our hall, and whatever the hell else we can do to help you. And we wish you continued success in your endeavors. I know that some of the press right now is trying to make it look like, you didn't come off as good as you thought you did, and you're a bunch of bad boys. But hell, they've been saying this about us for I don't know how long. And if it takes being a bad boy to get what you're entitled to, well, hell, I'm all for being a bad boy, and I'm not about to let the newspapers, and I don't think you guys either, conduct your lives. And I think Mayor Allen had a big, tall dish of crow that he had to swallow last Thursday night. And I think he's entitled to a few coughs and chokes and maybe a little bit of indigestion until he comes back to normal. But you guys just keep up the good work. You're miles ahead. I don't know who this mediator will be. We got a pretty good idea who it might narrow down to. We'll make sure that the guy is fair. If some guy's a bum and Martin and Styron don't know about it, well, we'll be very quick to point out where he's given some bad decisions in the past. You've got the public on your side, like Scott says, and this, of course, is all important. I think you had the Lord on your side because nobody in town even got a third-degree burn while you were out on strike. And with luck like that, hell, man, you guys can't go wrong. So just keep up the good work. We're behind you.
Will you be our marshal, sir? Thank you, sir.
You lovely, man.
Gentlemen, I've got a few remarks that I want to make among ourselves. Now, you all realize that I don't have the power or the speaking ability to count money. I just don't have it. I don't claim to have it. But I'm trying to make sense between you and me. It's not the words I'm trying to get across to you, it's the thought. If I don't get through to you, please let me know. We're an organization since May the 4th. This is June the 14th, isn't it? That's about 5 weeks. In that 5 weeks, we have taken on 2 of the largest organizations that you can think of. Don't ever forget the size of your opponent. The International Association of Firefighters rated at 121,000 members, backed by an organization of 14 million men. Plus the city government of Atlanta, backed by the city governments all over the Eastern Shore, all over the Eastern Coast, was advising the mayor. I don't know how you got up enough guts to do it. Do you understand what I'm speaking about? I don't know. I know I've seen you fight fire. I've seen you walk into buildings that weren't safe. But you at least could see the danger there. This you knew about, but you were still willing to take it on. Yes, sir. Everybody likes a challenge once in a while. Now let's get our points real straight here. We didn't bust this egg wide open and stomp it on the ground and splatter it all over hell, but we put one hell of a crack in it. If you don't believe it, you don't believe what you've done, why is the other fellow hollering so loud? I've never seen a hurt kid yet that didn't squall. And I've never seen a real happy person walking. On the AFL-CIO, let's be fair to those boys. The gentleman that just spoke to you, Mr. Waters, is a member of the Machinists Union. IAM and AW, AFL-CIO. The laundry workers, the garment workers. Good God, Carl, give me some of the other names that come in.
Communication workers.
Communications workers, Southern Bell telephone workers,
Steel workers.
steel workers, all have communicated with us. They are all, and have sent contribution to our support. They are AFL-CIO men. They did not fight against you. They were fighting for you. Who was giving us the argument? The man who was getting the taxes from us. The one we cut off the money from, and the one who had politically controlled us for years. But we must not overlook the fact that we had good union men in those organizations. Now, I'm not speaking about the AFI, what the hell it is, International Association of Firemen.
Mr. McNabb.
I'm speaking about union men. Not playing at a union, but union men. Men who have had to do the same thing we have done over the years. And come out sometimes not quite as fortunate as we do. I wish to explain this. Captain Martin had the jobs of every man in this building, about 600 of us, on his shoulders. You must realize the burden that the leader carries. I'm not the leader. He was the leader, and he called the shots. Do you understand? We can advise a leader, but you can't never take his command away from him. Now, he had lots of us pegging at him. Pegging at him from this side, pegging at him from that side, jumping at him from this side. Sometimes we had him going in a circle, just like a top. Well, he carries the weight with 3 ropes. One from the fireman around his neck, one from the city around his neck, and one from the family of you men that's back there home is around his neck. So his decisions require a hell of an effort on his part. If he moves wrong one way, the union snatches the rope. You men do. If he moves a little bit wrong, too far the other way, city officials will snatch the rope. If he disregards both of those, he knows he has the family of you men at home. That sometimes goes hard too. There was another great factor playing in this thing all the time. That is public opinion. Without it, we don't stand a chance to win. Because the money only comes from the public. The taxpayers got to pay this bill. We've got to keep that man sold on the fact that it's going to take a tax increase to pay us decent wages and decent hours. Do you all agree? Yes. There's no other way. The money's got to come somewhere. Kevin Martin played this as near to the line as possible with that public opinion through his advisors, and he had many good advisors. The mayor was being told, do not give in, do not give in. If you give in, you'll break this thing on the eastern coast. We also had some of our boys. And this whole thing come about through ill advice on their part. They were advised time and time, I'm talking about the mayor and his staff now, were advised time and time and time again. They're nothing but rabble. They won't do anything. Mr. McKellar was still claiming 520 members. And he was telling them that we will control certain other members of the department saying it's nothing to it, it's nothing to it. They won't do it. They're too dedicated, they're too loyal, and there's nothing to them to start with. As he said one time, I can line 12 up against the wall, facing away from me, walk up and put my hand on anyone, the back of anyone, and we turned around, he's got the best damn job he can hold. They were out of touch. They did not know the problem with the men, the temperament of the men. They had advised the mayor this, advised the mayor that. Well, the mayor's a hard-headed man. I don't say what makes him hard-headed, but he is hard-headed. And he was ill-advised. So we fought that problem down. Brother, you can be assured now he knows, without any question in his mind, that we are not members of 134.
I believe it.
He is certainly advised of that fact now. And the last meeting we had with him, there was no members of 134 present. There's also something else that you should realize today. When the 134 lost the battle in the city council, in other words, the mayor made his announcement to us that there would be no reprisals against us. Who fought that the hardest? Who said that they had been disloyal to the 134? How can the city alderman be disloyal to a person unless they have been loyal to them to begin with? All right, draw your own conclusion. What was our agreement when we started here? That we would speak through one voice. Right? I hear a lot of talk coming from this one and from that one, questioning the advice of whether did we go too soon or did we go too late.
Just right.
Please, in other words, gentlemen, that's not what I want. I don't want agreement. I want agreement to the fact that as long as you have a leader, and as long as you can have confidence in that leader, speak through him. Some of us have worried that man completely to death by telling him, you went this way wrong, you went that way wrong, I'd have done it different. Please, let's hold it down a little bit. We can run him crazy if we don't. We are not over this battle. It's going to get hotter before it gets cooler.
put on a body guard.
Any question? Yes, sir. Let me get through now, give you the foretime. I may have in my impromptu and my abrupt way offended some man in this organization. Please do not take it as personal. I have had people telling me from every direction, on every subject, sometimes talking at the same time. I'm sure that Captain Martin has had it. I'm sure that Captain Stanley's had it. I'm sure that Tom has had it, and every man in here has had it. But remember, there's only one thing that can win for us. And that, by God, it is sticking together. Stick together, we got it whipped. We cannot lose as long as we stay as an organization. We have got to get it together. Don't let anybody at this time use the rumor route to break up what you worked so damn hard to get. We've always had the rumor mongers in the fire department, and we always will. But this is the time for us to put it together, increase our membership. We've got 3 more today. That's all I've got to say, gentlemen. Thank you. I think Mr. Carroll asked before you said.
I don't like to look at a man's back when I got something to say to him. I expressed my views to the entire body the other night, and although there were a few more than we have present today, I'm still as surprised as I was the night we went back to work. I would like to suggest, this is something that has to come from you, that in the interest of Captain Martin's 4 old ears, and I know, and he and Captain Stern and various other people have listened to so many problems, I would say, but let's think about those fellows. We have pretty much a chain of command. I believe I'm in order in suggesting this. We have battalion stewards, you've got shop stewards, you have friends who have access to this information if you feel a little bit hesitant about expressing yourself. Instead of worrying Captain Martin, Captain Stern, Captain Stanley, you have chairmen of various organizations or groups, committees, if you please. Let's try to work with them, work through your shop steward as much as possible. I think you're going to save lots of explaining repeatedly for those of us who might feel a little bit shaky or uncertain about certain things. As far as sticking together is concerned, I think we've got that pretty well established, right?
Yeah.
There was a letter circulated in the fire department a few days ago in the interest of every man in the fire department. I hope that the sentiments expressed in that letter would mean something to all of us. Mr. Savilovich, is that right?
Zilovich.
Zilovich.
Tony Zilovich.
Tony. Okay. What did he tell us the other day? Did he say go back and smack them in the nose and put your heel on their necks because you feel awfully bitter because they didn't come out with us? We know that if we've been 100%, this thing wouldn't have lasted 15 minutes. I'm firmly convinced of that. Because there would have been nobody for leadership. They didn't. So let's put the honey out, boys. Let's be friends to these people and see if we can't win them to straight thinking. I believe that we'll use that approach. Tony's got a lot more experience than you and I have in this business. He must know something. And I believe it's a good tactic. A little at a time, with patience. I don't care what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get somebody on your side, you've got to give them a reason for it. You've got to show them where you're right. And I believe by working on this angle, we've got to get more members. They said we've got 3 more firemen, particularly that's to see them. Proud of them, come in with us. And I would like to see every last man in this department line up shoulder to shoulder, because only together are we gonna win this thing. And I believe we're gonna win it. I really do, as God is my witness, I believe we're gonna win. Thank you.
Right here, please.
All I'm gonna talk about is, pretty important about our pay. I went back to station, they said be friends with everybody, well, I kept my mouth shut, and, I'm not gonna say where I run into any trouble now, but man was over me, kept harping, I said, Cap, I don't wanna argue about it, I said, we don't agree, I said, I'll die and go to my grave thinking I'm right. He picked up the phone, called Chief. He said, if I got anything to do about it, reprisals come up. I said, I don't know where I get paid, and I didn't know how to. He picked up the phone, called, Chief and said, he was gonna see that we didn't get paid. If we did, the other men get some time off. Well, it didn't matter to me. But what I'm asking about is reprisals. Chief said that we wouldn't be dying.
May I answer the question for you? Reprisal is something that you have made against you or something you want. Something you have worked for, they take away from you, right? The mayor gave us his statement in his office yesterday. Captain Martin asked him, on the days that a man was supposed to have worked and did not work, he will not receive pay for it. You were on walkout. For the man who was not supposed to work, was on vacation, he would receive pay for it. That is the words way we understand it, but it will have to go to the mediator to be settled. I am perfectly willing to accept the 2 days docked in my pay. I did not work that day. I realize that in some cases with a fireman, or a young fireman, or a fireman that's in bad financial condition, it may work a terrific hardship. If that individual approached the union, maybe we can make some arrangements to help. Okay? Yes, sir. Please come up here and speak, please. What is your name, sir? Bobby Thompson.
What station?
What station, please? 32.
I too am willing to accept the 2 days loss in pay, as far as that goes. But it seems to me like it has a discriminatory overtone because all off days and all vacations were immediately canceled when we walked out.
That's right.
So it has a discriminatory overtone.
May I ask you a favor in this?
Yes, sir.
Let's wait for the mediator to work it out for us.
I'm
And
perfectly
we as
willing to wait.
individuals.
Had all these men that Mayor said he had working and is ready to fill out jobs, I took it upon to call a construction office. I got some good friends on that got some information for me. North Avenue Construction Department has 283 men. North Avenue Sewer Department's 35, which comes to a total of 318 men. Hill Street Construction, 200 men. Hill Street Sewer Department, 200 men, which is 400 men. The total is approximately 718 men. Out of that, they had 4 men sign up for our jobs.
Four out of 718? Yes, sir. Sounds like the old and verifying. Okay, please.
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that we adopt a strong arm with a thumb turned up for, him.
Instead of bugle.
Do I hear a second?
A strong arm with a thumb turned up, is that how we?
Do you have a second, Mr. Secretary?
Do I have a second?
Do I have a debate?
Question.
There's only one question that I would raise in this. We know what this is. It has a sickle instead of a thumb before it. Just consider that when you're thinking about an arm on any kind of an emblem.
Do I have any more discussion, please? Mr. John Brown? Please stand and come here and speak to us, sir.
The only comment that I would make about that would be that, even though we know what that arm and thumb means, as long as it was down here, that'd be fine. But if it's put outside for the public to look at, what might they think about it?
That's right, thank you, too.
I call for the vote. Let that be something to be handled in committee work. Slogans, emblems, things like that.
Do you make a motion to table this?
I do.
I have a motion to table and a second. Do I have a vote on it,
I don't
sir?
know if it's in order, you have a motion on the floor.
Well, in other words, you can make a motion to table, sir, that's the only way you said it. You could make it.
Yep, that's one of our drawbacks here, we're still operating without a set of roof bottom.
Right, sir, and
I
we're trying
think we
our
should
damn.
set that, and operate just quick as we can.
Boy, I'm part of that, it sure would help me.
May I make a statement in that?
Yes, sir. Wait a minute now. Are we right?
Everything's settled right at the moment, the move is tabled, is that?
It has not been tabled. I've got the vote on the table if they want to table. May I have a vote? Those in favor of tabling the motion, please signify by raising your hand. Those opposed, please. The motion is now tabled. Captain.
Bylaw. Horace Bitter, shop steward at Station 28, is on vacation. He gave me a number of notes and items that had been selected to suggest to this body for your bylaws, rules and regulations. There's been some misunderstanding on this. I had contacted some of the shop stewards or the battalion stewards today in an effort to get this thing started so that we can get as much information as possible, get a draft on it, present it to the executive committee.
At the same time, our same level of chief said the level of suffer, they'll never stop off again and lose that time. So like he, of course, I know he's close to the wind, but if we were not allowed to stop off and lose that time, we were sitting in the hall, waiting on someone to talk to us. We were available, I think we would be safe.
I'd like to say that, you pay the fines, which they only work 20 hours a week, I understand. If they pay them for the extra time that they work, they should pay these men for the time that they lost. 2 or 3 days they were out. Now, those guys only worked for them. They were filling in on our jobs on them. All right, Ralph, you want to
Gentlemen, I've never been associated with a strike before in my life, but I got a lot of kinfolk that do, and they don't anybody pay you while you're on strike.
Let me say something on that.
That's all I got to say. I've never heard of a person being paid on strike.
I checked the books, whether or not I was in charge Sunday night. I got the damn books, and look, I was on my off day. And everybody that was supposed to report to work was listed AWOL. My damn name wasn't on that book because I was on my off day, and none of my superior officers have talked to me and tell me to report to work, and I figured, by God, I'm supposed to be paid.
That's why I figured.
But I was sitting down here on my ass, and they couldn't get in touch with me because it wasn't there.
Jason?
I'll tell you what Chief Henry told me yesterday. Chief Polk came by the station last Friday, talked to Jake Stanley, and he was very upset, told us we were gonna lose 3 days' pay. Of course, Jake asked if he wanted to give him a check for it right then. I asked Chief Lecter about it yesterday. My off nights were Tuesday and Wednesday. And he said if I had to come back to work Thursday afternoon like I was supposed to have it, I would've got paid. But since I didn't, that I would lose 3 days' pay. Well, that way I'm losing my 2 off days and I got to pay for them. I don't get the off days for last week. I don't think it's right.
All right, gentlemen, look, we got quite a bit of, we're gonna have to see what does drop. All right, George, go ahead, now.
I don't know how you guys gonna do it, when I turn in my payroll, it's gonna be my damn last. And I'm gonna put 13 men in a vacancy, 14 damn days, and let them work it out.
All right, Roddy.
My station, the way I understand it, they're working this thing, they're giving these men off days. In other words, just like it's suspended, just like the off days are suspended, they give them extra off days. And I guess it's because it's been on docket.
They're giving them days off when it doesn't seem uniform. It appears they're gonna have to get up and talk to Chief Rexel and see what, and get the exact word what they're planning.
Here's the way I look at it, Bud. We can't make no motions down here tonight. But like, it's a cooling off period. We don't want to do nothing to hinder this movement we got. If they take 1 day from me, hell, I might get 5 back from them. Might take a little doctor, they ain't gonna get a damn thing from me. Believe me, we're gonna put this man up here on the spot. In other words, we're negotiating for something bigger. We might put all the facts on this board. We believe in a cause and a move. We don't want to put the executive in and for no damn little day or 2 days or 3 days of what it amounts to. But if they get a day from you, hell, you can mess around, we're gonna be here a while. We'll get 10 damn days, let 1 day, or 3 days, whatever they get. But let's don't, we got to, from here on out, every motion we make, we ought to stop and think about it, and before we vote on it, we ought to think about what we do. We're gonna place this cherry in up here. We got a damn move and a cause, and it's a good one. All of us believe in it, we wouldn't be here. But these little bitty, things like this, and a lot of things in the house, they don't wear out anyway. So if we start to think about all these things that we try to place on this man's shoulder at this clause, it might be useful. But like I say, if they get me for 3 days, they might take me 6 months, but hell, I might get me 2 weeks. And I go to the doctor, give me 2 weeks. Every man here can do it. But let's don't break this chair, let's don't get on no heated discussion at this time. This is the cooling off, we'll see what will come right, see what comes out of it.
Thank you, Jack.
They ain't that money to pay them scales that time.
Hey, go give it to them.
You know, I was in the hospital back in March for 20 days, the Navy Hospital in Charleston. And I haven't had my holidays yet. The chief said I wasn't gonna get no holidays, they put on my sick time. They said I was off 30 days and kept writing one in like that. And I brought my certificate back and see where it shows I was off 20 days. And I talked to Chief Williams, and he said, well, he didn't have anything to do with it, Chief Wright had it. So he said he was gonna talk to Captain Carter about it, and he never has talked to Captain Carter about that.
All right, gentlemen, let me say, and Jack Dawson, your statement is greatly appreciated. We've got right now, more or less, our word against the mayor's word. It's gonna be important when this mediator is finished as to who has stood by their word the closest and the strongest. Some of these reporters now, a lot of talk's been going on tonight about these dirty newspapers. We've got a lot of news people that own our side. A lot of these working news people, some of these reporters gonna win on this thing is after this mediator finishes, and it's made public, and that was part of the agreement. Now, some of these news reporters are wondering and watching, and they're the opinion, just off the record, that the mayor is gonna try to welch on his word a little bit. And the stronger our position is, and the weaker his position is, the better off we're gonna be. And if we get into a hassle at this early point about a couple of days or some disgruntled officer or something of that nature, we're gonna keep projecting something. I had a reporter call this afternoon, wonder how things are settling down the station. I said, it's settling pretty good. Everything's working out, gonna take a little time, working fine. He wanted to know what happened at this afternoon's meeting. He's real interested to see what happened tonight's meeting. If there's something they can blow this thing up on the front page again. The more we can stay out of wrangle until this comes about, and then if we can put all of this stuff on the outside, the mayor said no reprisal, the mayor says no penalties, showing how much he has disavowed his end of the word, and then if we get outside as heavily weighted, if we have agreed verbatim to our word, we're going to hold our public opinion. That's just my thinking. Now, I don't know what you think.
That's right.
It's a hard proposition, and it galls me just as much as it does you, but I don't know if right now is the time to enter into it. Let's hold it for another good Sunday punch if we can. But whatever you say do, we will do.
Let's get this going.
My wife, boy, sitting on that car, and I'm fixing to get back for a few more months. My daughter, they're shaking that Columbus, and I'm gonna have you something. All right?
Yes, sir. We're gonna be leaving.
Good,
Gentlemen, let me ask the treasurer for a treasurer. Where's the treasurer? Oh, good, Judge. Well, it's going, it's what the treasurer did me anyway. All right.
I've just gotten the bill tonight on some of the expenditures.
What is up? Oh, here it is. You got it all
That's
here.
just the balance in the expenditure.
Gentlemen, it's, June the 9th. We have a bank balance of $2,988.51, and that does not include tonight, is that right? That's right. That does not include this $51 plus whatever was taken in tonight. Our paid up members are 593 paid. Now, I've got a couple of motions that were made today. One motion by Sergeant Ernest Frank, Station 17, was a motion that no member of this union can hold office as president, vice president, secretary, or treasurer for 10 years from the date of its charter unless he is a chartered member of this union. Now, this motion, I believe, was tabled, however. So, it can go no further at this point. It can be brought up again at another day meeting. But I believe, just having an answer to somebody's question back here, what this motion was in membership. That motion was amended. Any member who stayed in the station during the walkout would not be allowed to hold office in this union. That also was tabled with the original motion. So, is anything else to do with the membership now at this time? Discussion. All right, Frank?
I'll go back to number 5 problem again.
All right, go back.
I will not dignify Carl Felder and insult some of my good friends by calling him a captain. But I would like for these men tonight to get with our treasurer or our secretary who can put this thing down on paper, get it fixed, and let's take some action on it now.
Amen. Carl McClarty, will you, treasurer has asked, where's Carl? All right, won't Carl to get with Bennett before he leaves tonight. Bennett has to get with you and get this down in writing. Or he will. All right. Gentlemen, someone asked me to explain about our resignations. what would be the final outcome of them. I believe you heard Mr. Walters tonight, today, to hang on to them.
Yes.
And I believe the same, do you concur?
At least 30 days.
We got a good safety spot to talk to.
No. Table that. All right. It was no vote on the second. You can vote on the second. That's the vote. Gentlemen, any other business? All right, go ahead.
I like motion to adjourn.
Second. Third. I didn't hear that. Was there motion back in? Any other business? Can I hold it just a minute? Can I ask you to hold it a minute? See, make sure we clear all the business. I'm gonna be good faith.
You know, one thing on that is, in this agreement about the creation and the agreement of the mayor prior to time we went back to work. I think it was word of mouth by him on $56 and also on this raise by the survey team. Now, I don't know whether you're aware of the problem the survey teams put out in these cities. I was down in Florida, like, first of April, summer. It was thrown out down there that these various survey teams from all over the country, places here in Chicago, come in various towns in Chicago and made a survey of these cities. And even though there's a disparity laid here now between the firemen and the police, he said usually it's added a disparity in pay between the two departments within the city. Now, I don't know whether you're aware of this, but I'd like to bring it to your attention here, because what he said there, they can take some money away from us, for that matter.
Yeah, the mayor suggested that for our mediation that we use this survey team that's going around. And, they request them to send in some additional people and to speed the thing up and use this survey team, we reject it. On the part of it. I feel. Thank you. There was a motion this afternoon that this body prepare a plaque, just a nice plaque of appreciation for to the Teamsters and Tony Zivley for all the efforts that they gave us and all in turning this place over to us during our recent difficulties. That motion is now on the floor. Is there any further discussion to it?
Yeah. Mr. Mitchell stated two. One for Tony and one for the Center Hall. Yes.
I believe that was included. Two plaques, one to Mr. Hopper and one for this hall here. Any further discussion? Don? I would not know. I wouldn't have any idea.
I would say to at least 5 folks men down in that office, we buy a nice cigarette lighter and give it to them too.
Well, that would have to be amended, I'd have to get it back over to Dave Eaton to get passed up on. Any further discussion on that motion, folks?
Jack, I'd like to express to all men appreciation for stopping long enough to send flowers to Mother's funeral, and I appreciate it very much.
All right, gentlemen, motion on the floor then. All right.
Before we close it, say, I just want to ask one question.
Got a motion now, is this pertaining to the
No,
motion?
but you got the motion.
Yeah, I got a motion.
Yeah, that's what I say, you couldn't take no more. Oh, I see.
No, this is concurrent with the motion this afternoon. This motion that we do submit these two plaques. I believe Captain Carroll was elected in the daytime to work them up, and he works, with a lot of this stuff, engraving, printing, engraving stuff. Any further discussion on it?
Question.
All correct question we call for. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're walking now with it.
Well, we'll ask the question first. We talk about giving everybody something here. It might done been done. You got a lot of members, working up here on your committee, like the president, vice president, treasurer, and so forth down the line. But I don't think, and I might be wrong, if nobody's even suggested any car allowance for these fellows that's doing all this running around. And if we talking about giving somebody else something, Now, I think, this was a question, just to bring it up, we can't make no motion. It ought to be considered. These men is taking a lot of money out of their own pocket for gas, but I know so, but I've seen them running around a lot. And, a treasurer and a vice president and a president of some of the other committee I'm at. But I think it ought to be brought to the attention the next meeting night, or come up with a fixed salary, car allowance for these men, let the president decide who needs it, until this is all over with.
Well, there's already been some.
The allowance has already been done.
That was, well, about 50, that was how much they could spend, I understand, but it wasn't, as far as I know, I'd like to see it done before it come up with a question that at a later date, so-and-so spent much money for his own personal automobile. But they've been, each fellow's done a lot of running around in the last 2 months, and I know they some time sometimes.
Right now, I think, and thanks for a lot of y'all done a lot of running around too, and, we appreciate it. But we have got a fight on our hands right now. I think we mentioned one before, we decided let's get this problem over with, put a late problem after this one is done, as far as we're concerned. Appreciate it. No, I thought I would check with Tony first and see if anything, he wants anything done about it, he will. About the yard that was tore up, Alex wanted to know if, thought, and I think that we will do it, where we tore up the yard with the automobiles out here, coming in, driving, parking on the yard and all, about us, seeing about getting it fixed up. We'll check with Tony and see what he wants done on it, and bring it back to the fight on that thing. He hasn't said anything about it. Right, I think, right. All right, gentlemen, before we close, let me say this. You have, and a couple of your good brothers and Smith suggested, you've got some good men back in these stations. Damn good men that ought to be members of this organization. Now, you've had 2 or 3 days of fun with them. Think about getting off the bikes. See if you'd like to work with them in this organization. Make up your mind and see about bringing them into this group. We do need every member we can get that will make us a good member. So, do everything that you can, search your own mind, talk with them, see what was in their conscience, alongside of yours, and try to bring them here. Who came in today? Yes. I wouldn't have any idea, Captain Elliott, I believe today came back. Any new members here tonight? All any new members here tonight? Hollis, first time Hollis has been here, is it?
Hollis been signed up a while.
Brother Hollis, would you like to say a word to us, anything? Like what you see?
Yes, I would. I work with the fellows on the scam part, or whatever we like to call it. There are a lot of mixed feelings there. I was with the union 100%, as Osmond called me on Tuesday night in Manhattan, asking, who are you for? Well, one fellow from over here must have been Arnold. Now I said, I'm for y'all. He said, no, you're not. And I said, why do you say that? He said, because you're not down here. He drove a good point to me when he said that. I myself felt definitely like I should be in it, but yet under the circumstances that it happened with me, everybody has their own personal feelings on it. I didn't know that they were going to walk out. I haven't been for walking out, mainly because I haven't been brought up to date on the full facts of it. When Bill Finley came over and filled in our station as a sergeant this past Saturday a week ago, so graciously he took all the time that was necessary to convince me that I was right in doing it. Be me thick-headed, hot-headed, or whatever it might be, I needed that help, and I appreciate it very much. And I say this is what these other fellows need also that are not in it. Somebody to talk with them with interest. Whatever they say, come back to them and tell them, from their heart how they feel, not blowing up, not getting mad, not saying, well, come on down to Union Hall and, you'll see what's happening. But, Bill Fenton told me in details everything that I asked, and it seemed like, well, if he didn't have the answer, let's go somewhere and get the answer, if you're not satisfied with my answer. And I appreciate it more than anything, and I think all the other fellows will feel the same way. But at the time that this happened, to show how interested I was in the union, I had promised myself I'd be down here Tuesday. If I had come, I feel within my heart, most definitely I would have stayed here. I would not have walked off. I fully meant to, but I've got a boy about 18 years old that's pushing me like everything to buy him a motorcycle. Now I love a motorcycle also, so we was out trying to find a motorcycle, and that's why I wasn't here. So when Captain Moore called me, it was after they had walked off the strike. I felt like then the city was under a crisis. It was needing all the help that it needed, but yet I wanted to be down here just as much. So I had to make up my own mind what was I going to do. So I went in. In behalf of the fellows that was there, I tried all the time I was there to get 3 of us to come out. I believe if just a little bit of help that I could have had, I could have got 3 of the 4 of us that was at our station to come out, including our captain, which was Captain Moore. One of them, we knew that we could not get out. He had stated from the very start to up to now that he would not come in under any circumstances. So just a little bit of help from you fellows to the others of kindness and explaining and everything to them would be what would help them the most. I'm sorry I couldn't be here. I wanted to be here. My father was fired from the American Laundry years back for this same type thing. They formed a union there. I know what Daddy went through at that time. He had been with the Gold Shield Laundries 18 years, and they fired him on a technicality, which they knew the technicality. A bundle of laundry, he was working for Gold Shield Laundry, and the bundle of laundry was up in a rack. And he told them that it was in a rack, but yet they didn't get it out of the rack, and they fired him because he couldn't check up properly. So they're using that excuse as a warning. He was the vice president of that union at the time. So they fired him. They never did Daddy a bigger favor than doing it. So I felt wholeheartedly in it. But I'm sorry I couldn't be here that night, and I hope from this point on I can be with you wholeheartedly. Anytime that I might show anything that I'm not, I would appreciate anybody coming to me and telling me I'm wrong. Say you're wrong and try to help me see that I'm wrong. Don't just cast me aside and say he's not one of us, I'm not a believer. But try to show me. I'm open-hearted and I want to know when I'm wrong. That's the only way we can profit, is by somebody coming to us and say you're wrong and this is why you're wrong, and hope that they'll listen. Thank you a lot.
Gentlemen, I'd like to encourage all of you to search your hearts just as Hollis is injecting to you to do now. Search your hearts for some of these men at the back of the station, and you find it in your heart that they will make you a good member, talk to them. If any new members come in, and we got a lot of new men coming on the department, let's get them in this organization right away. If I'm correct, I believe all it requires is the initial dues payment and sign up at this time. That hasn't been changed as yet, has it?
How many days do we got?
I think we need 60 days, but just get them in if we can, and, but it might be their advantage to tell them just to sit on and just keep quiet, don't go around saying he's a, so-and-so the member. We've had that mistake made. Wait till they get through this school and all out here. Training time is not 100%, and, so we'll help all we can.
I want to ask a question about the training now.
All right?
Yeah.
The new members,
Right.
training coming on this department. When they do come to the training tower, in case they don't pass that school, we will refund their money, and, if they do come back to it, they have to welcome to come back to it, right?
That should be fair enough.
Yeah, I'd like to say to everybody that anytime you've got somebody that wants to sign up, I'm out at number 30. Call out there and ask for Finley, and I'll make an effort to get out to wherever they at and sign them up. I'll sign them up and I'll disaffiliate them and I'll get them to resign.
I believe our next meeting this afternoon is suggested, we are in a cooling off period. Give the executive board time to lay some groundwork. Our next meeting suggested be 3 weeks from today, which will put this shift back for the daytime meeting. Everybody in agreement with that? 3 weeks from today, our next meeting. Unless it's a special call meeting, if something comes up, of course, we'll call a special meeting and get you right into it. Brother, I'll entertain your motion.
I'll make motion to adjourn.
No, wait.
Now I can.
Concur with what he just said before he adjourned.
Wait a minute, I want something to say.
All right.
I'm waiting on you.
Will you withdraw your motion a minute?
Oh,
Okay.
no.
I'll second
Sit
that.
down. We got a couple of offices over here at 1960 Lakewood Avenue. Myself, I've been there a good deal of time, Mr. Clark and some others. We need some knuckle busters over there tomorrow to finish these things up. We've got them where it won't take much to go on and finish them up. I know there's a lot of you men that can do anything. I mean, I know that. And if I could get, I'd like to have 8 or 10 men over there tomorrow to get these things knocked out.
What are you talking about?
Daytime.
Wait,
Well, not all of you. I'm betting that some of you, I bet some of you is off tomorrow.
What are you talking, what are you knocking out?
We got, the local here has got 2 offices at 1960 Lakewood Avenue.
Now, local offices, be our message center. In other words, it's been, you wouldn't want to know what the hell's going on. You've had to call different ones around here at home, such as that. We have opened up office space. It was originally opened as an employment office in case we all lost our jobs. But we got this 2 little offices over there for $40 a month, I believe, is what it's gonna cost us. Of course, we're doing a little remodeling, our own labor, buying the equipment mostly where we can in cash and carry and other than that. It's gonna be very nominal in expense. And a couple of telephones, we're gonna have some people on duty over there. It's gonna be more or less our communications center, where you can get the latest information, you can call in, a lot of work can be done through that, and keep our union out of the engine houses and put it in a place of business where we can conduct union business. We can't have a meeting, not large enough for a meeting hall, but all our union business can coordinate. We got pretty good parking there, the beer joint across the street, things like that. But,
I'll be opened up in the morning.
but that's what's working for you on there, and what Jack's talking about there, I believe you put up the paneling, Jack, is that right?
Well,
Paneling.
ribbon, sealing.
Sealing.
We got it in pretty good shape, but we just need to finish it up. I done burned up 10 days of my vacation on this thing, and I know some of you men, just put 1 day, maybe a couple of days, we can knock this thing out. We're supposed to have it done tomorrow, and it's not done.
That tell them at night.
At night too, yeah, that's the thing. It's coming right here, come over there the other night, we worked, what, 9:30? And we run out of material, we worked till 10 or 11 o'clock possibly. So, y'all come on over there, if there's too many, you, go over there and get you a beer, across the way. We got Joe sitting over there too, it's coming up.
What is it? You want some paint done or what?
Well, that's all, if some paint's done, we'll get it, but we're not at that stage where we need work. We need somebody.
Carpet work, man.
Yeah, anybody do some work.
General carpet work.
Yeah.
I should have made this,
Well, yeah.
I should have made this on a committee report, but we was gonna have this thing finished, and then have an open house for you to see the damn thing. When we got our painters, I believe Mr. Akins, Mr. Wofford, we're gonna paint the thing. Once Mr. Booth finishes it, finishes the sheet rock, and there's great things going on over there, and I think we'll be proud of it. But, Stanley didn't make the announcement today, so I wasn't gonna make one tonight. But, it's all right, there's no secret in it.
That's the first time I knew about it.
I think you're gonna like it, brother. When we finish it, it'll be open house. You come in, look around, And it'll be tending to your business.
I don't see how in hell they can keep it a secret. I talk more than anybody that I know, gossip, and how in hell they can tell me and keep it a secret. Why you tell me?
Gentlemen, it was something that came up of necessity at the spur of the moment, more or less, and because as some of you stations know, we've got to get local business out of the engine house. We're going to put it on a business-like basis. We're going to have a business office, and probably make it with volunteer help until at a later date we can afford maybe to hire a nice secretary for me and her. Or whoever's there. But we believe it's going to be an enterprising thing when it is finished. That's finished up there.
I got about 11 boxes of tile at home. That bought? How about cheap rock?
Finally, can always get cheap rock, you buy.
All right, gentlemen, in the other business now. Brother, I'll entertain your motion one more time.
They don't give up.
Excuse him.
All right, gentlemen, all in favor, let's please adjourn. Thank you
What are they gonna do about that?
inside.
How much you got left to do on that? Now, why, hey, you know, alcohol, soda, available, and all that, why did you call them?
He get out of here, we're gonna get it done, but we Listen, if we have a few meetings, I'll do it. I've been trying to drink water for you the other night, I told him, I said, you ought to look, I just his attitude is that his job. In my opinion. We got no graduation next I've been down there this morning. Sure. I've been down there this morning, I've been there in the morning too. But I got a room started for my
Okay, I'll see you.
I got a final release. I started today. You got it right, did you say? And our roof decided it wasn't leaking. I can't help out with the morning, but I'll try to be there tomorrow night. Charlie Phelps. I made the wrong thing. I will.
Carl Feldman. Charlie Feldman, but Carl Feldman. Truck running here back of the wagon, well, the wagon running back.
Right, come here now. Yeah, cut it off, please.
Watch your Jack Master, man.
Left hand, no, this one right here, just turn it right there.
The motion is still before the floor.
One more thing I'd like to say.
All right.
One more and that's
All
all.
right.
Fellas, on that Thursday, that, we all were sitting around and looking for anybody that had, anything to draw a smile on our faces like that. And, thinking about that Tuesday and Wednesday, when we went home and, butterflies in our stomachs. I know a lot of us got out on our hands and knees and prayed a little bit Thursday night, fellas. We was all scared a little bit. Sitting here thinking about this charter member, which
I don't know what date that would be. But what comes into my mind, and the reason I got it one more time on this charter membership, is I was thinking about those boys from number one. After the mayor had turned down our proposals, fellas, and, these boys sitting back there didn't know what, scared to death, and I should be with them, and I should stay here, but when he turned down those proposals, and those boys got up and still came out here, having an opportunity to stay there, but they got up and came out here with me, fellas. If you vote on something like this and knock it back 10 days, you're not treating those boys bad at all. Now, I think if you're gonna have a certain date, that date should be brought forward to cover those 3 days. Then, from there on, I'm with you, 10 years, 20 years.
If I'm in order, I move that the motion be taken.
All right, in other words, I have no other choice. I have to vote on that. Vote to table, please show me by showing your hand. Hand down, vote opposed. It is now voted to table. It'll have to be brought back before the board after vote. You're on, sir.
Good. And just one thing I wanna say, I'd like to say this, that if we spend any damn money for advertising, let's don't spend it with the damn Atlanta Journal. Let's use it on TV or radio, and damn paying the paper $700-something for half-page edits, cut us all to pieces with editorial. And if you want that in the form of a motion, I'll put it in.
No, sir, I don't think we need to vote the motion. I think it's an opinion of both sides. Let's, if I may take, how much time do we have? I know we're always getting too long.
I got a motion, Mr. President.
Take what?
I got one motion from Jack Morgan.
Please, in other words, Jack Martin wanted to make a motion, and he left the word through the secretary. Please give it to us.
Early last Friday morning, the President instructed me to, the next regular meeting, bring the motion to the floor, that we have a plaque drawn up, in honor of, the work and our appreciation of what Tony Zuzlich has done for us. A wall plaque or something of that nature, and he said make it in the form of a motion.
I'll second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion, gentlemen? Mr. Carroll.
I've offered to agree with this. I have a senator's point on a brass plate with the mounted suitably on wood, and I'd be glad to give my services and a piece of metal, which would be about $6, the one that would be a suitable size. I'd like to mention further that this would be greatly appreciated. I told him he protested, but he was certainly appreciated.
Any other further discussion, sir?
We're gonna put that in motion, to let Larry Carroll take care of it.
Just let me get this motion, I'll call on you, Captain. Gentlemen, you've heard the motion, it has been duly seconded, that we present a plaque to Mr. Zuzlich for his aid during this time. All in favor, raise your hand, please. All opposed? It is unanimous. May I have Captain Elliott right now? Easy, gentlemen. Job hard enough.
Because I have no right to stand here. I take my glasses off because I'm so full I can't have it. I walked out on you fellas, but I couldn't turn my back on my wife. She begged me not to do it, but I couldn't do it. But I promise you, if you leave me a member, I'll do my damnedest not to do it again.
Gentlemen, now we are at the meat of this situation. We do not know every man's mind. We do not know why every man stayed away from us. We do know that some were honest in their conviction, and they were a member of neither local. We do know we had some of our own to work, and we can't read their minds. And our only fight, I believe, our only fight is those that stayed for the political or financial gain that they sought to gain over our loss.
Right.
Now, it has been so often placed around. Let's use discretion. Let's have good sense and compassion. We need all the good brothers with us. Yes, sir.
Is any room, like this gentleman here talking all the good brothers about putting anything on the board about a meeting or something? Is any room been set against it and we can't do it?
I will not say, I am not giving you any answers. Let it go through our mediation. There is one fact that we must have understood. Anything that comes before us must be in writing. It must be completely detailed out for us. Don't come tell me something, bring me a written history of it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was talking to the man that head the local in the County Fire Department.
Yes, sir.
All my kin work at it.
Yes, sir.
And, he told me of a piece of paper before they sort of slammed us. He told me to tell you fellas up here that that piece that was in that paper didn't come from that local, that they're behind us, and he still wants to know when he can get some of his local members and come up here and visit with us, that he might get some tactics from us. So he told me to tell you that piece that was in the paper, didn't come from source of local, but from an individual.
Gentlemen, I have, yes, sir. We're recognized. All right, sir.
I want to make a apology to Captain Ellington publicly to you because I called him a bastard. Now I'm in the office. I'd like to be fair to the other kids too. I don't know his thoughts for not being with us. He's got his own.
And every man will be welcome.
His wife does work for him. That might have a little something to do with it.
While we seem to be on this good and welfare thing,
But I had no reason to say that. We are 100% beside him up the country. I believe he possibly he will. I talked to him since then. I said what I did, I changed it. I want to, another thing I want to say,
and I heard deeply that every man
this job that we're doing,
can
not
come and make that a success.
for us,
Carry our
our family.
and our pedigree, which is
But this
forward into this
firemen all over the USA, this has been said.
organization behind.
We're starting the job.
2:30, Sunday afternoon.
Every time that they compare you with anybody, they compare you with firemen. Salary,
I believe that's correct. Owen Avenue in Glenwood at 2:30.
no fireman got a good salary, no good.
And please let's
You
not
might
share
find a little
political
bit,
discussions through that
not
forum.
much.
We are there to honor
We could get that comparison to somebody else. I asked a man this morning about tire changes, what they make. Just compare us to tire changes. Anything. Make sure.
May I answer that?
I'll tell you why.
Good. Ms. Cowan, you're
Any electricity. Oh, you got the bill.
Talk to Mr. McEver before I
You're not
come over
sending
here.
bill first. You're a skill.
Gentlemen, please.
This thing that I understand
Oh, I know how to use it.
design,
And personnel manager
suggestion came up that we go over and pass at the next meeting and do whatever's necessary to bylaws to dissolve that, and we still would be powerless if three men preferred to do it. And if those three men held the charter, all monies and fees stay with the charter.
The bylaws also state that there will be 11 men and represent 3 stations before a meeting will be held. That's right. And have a quorum of 11. That's right.
That would be dependent upon the membership, that's on 134's bylaws.
Right, yeah.
But on, international bylaws, and I believe 134 bylaws will tell you that anything that conflicts would drop back to international, and would fall back to whatever membership is, 3 men, 2 men would be a quorum. Yes, sir.
Why can't we go over there and mass, take what money we have? Well, I mean, honestly, and folks take that money and use it, like you say, for our advertisements and our picketing through local 134.
Gentlemen, let me remind you that we are the majority. But as it stands, we have saw fit, as it seems, although there's difference of opinion there, we have left that organization. What is left of that organization is entitled, I would say, to what they have. True, the money is there, but let us not be split. Now wait, I'm thinking on a point. Let's not split. What are we going to do if there's 50, 75, 100 members still in 134? And this unit moves down in mass and votes and outvotes and takes over everything they've got. 2 questions have come up. 1, now which organization are we really in? If we have really left that organization, we have left it in its entirety. And we're trying to get that right away. 2, how are we going to woo or win these 75, 50, or 100 men ever to come over to our cause if we go over and drive them to the wall?
Drive them hard enough.
What will they do if they do decide to come in here with it? They just okay to get that money, or they bring it with them?
I can't answer that question, bro. Yes.
As long, oh, beg pardon.
I just want to say that if it took however long the union we've had it, 134, it took 40 years to get below $6,000, what the heck? We're gonna have enough money coming in, and we don't need it, they just forget it.
Gentlemen, along with that, at 400 members at $5 per man, that's going to come up to 2,400.
How you doing, get that?
$24,000 at the end of the first year. We don't have any at this time for capture tax to pay out. We have paying at this time, that won't be forever, but we're paying at that time, $1 a day, $1 for our meetings here at the Teamsters Hall, legal binding. We will have to pay $5 per member per year for our legal attorney. He will act as our business agent free of charge until such time as we do get sufficient capital to hire a full one. So I'm in concurrence that the money, if it was dispersed over the 525 or 35 odd members, it would be about $10 a man. It wouldn't be a great deal of money.
But it could be invested in the advertisement and do some good.
George, it is not touchable by law. You might as well forget it.
We believe that.
You can hold it. You cannot donate more than $10 a month from it.
Them 3 men won't be a big enough sum of it to hold.
If those 3 men dissolve the charter, the men, then the money would revert back to the international.
other motion was,
You can't touch it, gentlemen. You can marry it, but you can't divorce it. Yes, sir.
should be answered. Mr. Canton, you want the floor?
And I just want to ask a question on tape recorder.
Stand up, Mr. Canton, please.
How about, if we're gonna have tape recorder, and if we have a guest speaker, let's get it on the recording where we can hear the same speech.
The recording was made, I don't know how clear it's gonna come out, if you wanna bear with it and see if we can pick up any of Mr. Mitchell's conversation this afternoon. Most of it was in question and answer session. We'll ask Captain Stein, see if he can locate some of Mr. Mitchell's conversation. And, that was the purpose, but we don't know how successful we've been to pick it up.
You ready, Judge?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's a good thought, bring him up, yeah.
Want to try now?